Welcome to the all-new Marvel Roundup, the Southgate Media Group's guide to the Marvel Comics of the week. As always, I am Phil Parrish, and joining me is...
Charlie Esser!
Alright, Charlie. The floor is yours.
Okay, the floor is mine. And, we were, just because I guest spotted on World's Finest this week, and we were discussing shows that are trying to be like their TV counterparts. And I said, well, Marvel does it right. Let's open up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 9, Civil War II. And what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets right is that rather than trying to ape the TV show, they are telling their own stories with these characters who are familiar from the TV show. And I think that's what, DC can have that TV show flavor, but they just need to always remember this is their own story. They don't need to follow the storytelling style or anything. They just have to get the zest of what is good about the show into it by just, presenting the characterization in a similar way. So when last we left us, Elektra Natachos is now an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. She knocks out Leo Fitz because he's the traitor. He uses a flashbang grenade to teleport out. Elektra apparently has freed Grant Ward, and hey, we were ripping on DC for stealing all of Marvel's stories last on World's Finest, and in this one, Grant Ward has a bomb on his neck. So DC is stealing, or Marvel is stealing Suicide Squad, but it's popular, and he's the bad guy. So. He's got a bomb in his neck, and he's going to work for Elektra. They're looking for Fitz, who's on the run. We get the big reveal. We got to reveal in a few bits. So first we get the reveal. Fitz finds Coulson, who is also on the run. Basically explains that, yes, Fitz was actually being the double crosser of... Starkovsky, that he was playing the double agent for Coulson. They hook up with Quake, who has also been mad, but they have this information that Jonas Gray Malkin is going to blow up Penn Station for reasons, because that's what Ulysses told them. We find out that Ming is not Ming, May. I always wanted to call her Ming Na, but she's actually Melinda May. May is none too happy to be working with Elektra because she killed a bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents when she caused one of those helicarriers to crash in Wolverine Enemy of the State. And basically she kind of is, the whole idea is that she's sort of trying to make good, trying to deal with the red on her ledger, as it were. By working for S.H.I.E.L.D. again. But, why is anyone trusting her? Goodness knows. Goodness anyone knows. Meanwhile, for those who recall, Simmons is dying of a horrible plague. But Deathlock, in this case, Henry Hayes, not the Deathlock from the series, who is actually the scientist who invented the Deathlock cybernetic system, has basically realized... the only way to save Gemma is to turn her into a Deathlock. He's modified it so she won't have the Deathlock protocol. She'll have her own, she'll be in control of herself, and the Deathlock protocol, the Deathlock system should save her. But she's probably going to hate him for saving her in that way, because who would want to be a Deathlock? Anyway, Lola, Quake, Fitz, and Coulson, they catch up to the train, they jump in. Leo realizes that the bombs aren't bombs at all. It was all a trap to catch Coulson. We get a lot of fighting with Mockingbird and Deathlock and Elektra kicking everybody's butts. May is driving the bus and was told to keep pace with the train. So when Quake and Clark make a run for it, when Quake and Fitz make a run for it in Lola, May, and Ward is saying, "Hey, why don't you follow them?" And May says, "Oh no, Elektra told me to follow the train. I don't really feel like chasing down my friends, and this is a good lesson for her to be specific in her orders." But of course, Coulson is captured. We get a nice scene between Maria Hill, who we all already know is evil, and Natasha. This is where we really get, um, you know, uh, why she has rejoined Shield, because she does want to make good for what she did. We get to see Ward taunting Coulson, because Coulson's now in the plexiglass prison, and you see the bomb on Ward's neck. But basically, he's telling him, "You and your friends are over." And then next, Agents of Shield #10. It's a nice cover they got there. They got May and Mockingbird with the sonic wings, and Deathlock running into battle with Elektra as their leader. And hey, because Elektra is now in the Netflix universe, all these characters could be on Agents of Shield this season. So watch for it, kids. Thumbs up. It was a good book. A lot of fun.
All right, now for three of mine. I guess I'll start with Punisher #5. I thought I had taken this off my list because I don't think I got #4, but I'm assuming I forgot to take it off my list. But it was interesting. Frank and one of the DEA agents, or the female one, Ortiz, they have to break into this asylum. I guess the drug gang is using. They find the other DEA agent, Henderson. His face has been cut off, and he's been pumped full of this drug, and he's like all crazy. So his partner has to shoot him, and I guess basically it will kill him to get him to stop. Yeah, no. Then it's basically Frank battling. It looks like a female mastermind, but I don't think she's the big boss. But then he's like, looks like down in the sewer tunnels. He's fighting more of the guys pumped full of the drug until he blows up the tunnel with a bazooka, rocket launcher.
That Frank, he's subtle.
Yeah, that's basically about it. Yeah, that's basically about it. And then at the end they show the one guy getting away. It's one of the guys of the gang, and he's been prominent through like all the issues I've read. Like he's always like red-eyed, and like I don't know if he's rocking some kind. Well, he seems to be rocking some kind of powers, like I don't know, strength and speed maybe off this drug. So,
yeah, or maybe we just had to say Frank Castle's not that good at his job.
Yeah, I like. If you're expecting a deep story, I wouldn't say come here. But if you're a fan of the Punisher and just his war on crime, I would say you would be very interested in this issue. I mean, it's a thumbs up.
Very good.
Then on to Power Man and Iron Fist #8. Hey, isn't Power Man Luke Cage getting his own Netflix series soon? We're recording on Friday. I think it's next week, Charlie.
Yes, it is.
1 week.
So definitely, you're going to have to watch the Luke Cage on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because I'm telling you, you're going to get all this. Everyone complains about the Marvel, but now that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on at 10, they're going to be using this for cross-promotion. You watch. You're going to see a certain blind lawyer before the end of the season. I promise you that.
Oh, yes.
And someone's going to explain to him, "You're not very good at your job, are you, Mr. Murdoch?" He's going to say, "I didn't want to be a lawyer. My dad made me. I just want to get punched." And that's what I do on my weekends.
So this is a big Civil War II issue because Danny Rand's still in prison because he got locked up with when he was like resisting arrest, because when Luke and Danny were investigating why all these supervillains were getting arrested for no reason. And Luke wants to he says I guess they talked to Foggy Nelson. Luke says Foggy can get Danny out of jail, and Danny says, "No, I have to stay here and figure all this out and protect these guys and everything." And Luke starts like getting worried, so he puts like a little gang together, and he's gonna break Danny out of prison because like Luke has issues with prison, as we know. So, but
I don't know why they gave him all his superpowers.
Yeah, but he was unjust. He was convicted. He was arrested in prison for a crime he didn't commit.
Yeah, but superpowers. Yeah, it's like, okay, trade off. Okay,
yeah.
Don't give me this whole superpowers or curse thing, man. You ain't no thing.
But yeah, he puts this little gang together, including Songbird and Centurious, Dr. Noah Black.
Wait, who is that?
I
Oh,
don't know.
Centurious. Yes. He actually was part of. Huh, that's interesting. He's actually a straight up villain. He was part of the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Remember when the Thunderbolts were lost in time?
Yes.
Yeah, he was one of those guys, and
Okay, yeah, I remember him now. Yeah. It
yeah,
says here.
he's like he thinks of himself as like this super Reed Richardsy guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it says he's a genius and reformed criminal, so he must have supposedly
huh,
reformed.
I guess the Thunderbolt got to him. He enjoyed it.
But so they're like standing outside the prison talking, the three of them, and then guess who shows up? Carol Danvers with Mockingbird, Puck, Spectrum, Storm, Deathlock. Because guess who ratted on them, Charlie?
Centurious or Songbird?
Well, guess who had a vision?
Oh, Ulysses.
Yeah.
That's not really ratting on him. He just this is what I saw. They're gonna go do some stuff.
Because remember Luke didn't want to take a side before. Well, he's taking a side now because he's like, wait, you're gonna arrest us for something we might do that we were that
you were
yet?
going to do. As in the very first episode of the Civil War book, when She-Hulk is trying to defend this guy who was planning on, got caught up in conspiracy to rob a bank. Yes, he was conspiring with people to rob a bank. And so that's against the law. You're not allowed to conspire to commit crimes. And if you're Luke Cage and you're conspiring to commit a crime, guess what? You committed a crime, Luke Cage.
Well, he's like asking Carol, let's start with what you think I'm going to do, enlighten me, and then he's like, how have you seen something that hasn't happened yet? And everyone's trying to talk him down, and he said, because Carol says, I saw it, I experienced it, and Luke says, seeing and experiencing can be two different things. He's like, y'all telling me you saw this the same way you saw what happened to Rhodey, or did you experience it the way you experienced Banner getting killed?
That's a point.
Yeah, and then Storm's trying to talk him down, and he's like, "No, not from you." He's like, "After everything, they put mutants through, you're gonna tell me to,
Yeah, it's a crazy world with superpowers. Let me tell you.
So then the issue ends with Luke, Songbird, and Centurious fighting Carol's group. So
okay,
she's not making any friends here. Thumbs up.
Yeah. Of course, Centurious. if they really wanted to get into it here, Centurious knows, or at least he reverse engineered a whole shield super depowerer device, which totally took out Carol Danvers in Dark Reign. So, just gonna say that's something a guy like Centurious probably keeps in his back pocket. Okay, so thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. And then I guess I'll go. I'll go to the last number 5, Deadpool v Gambit. It's the last part of this miniseries, last issue. And do you remember I told you the guy they were working for was that Chalmers was actually Loki?
Oh, that's our Loki.
Yeah, but Deadpool breaks all the fourth wall here because he has Iron Fist powers, and he's actually trying to smack Loki with like the text boxes, where you can see his thoughts.
Well, that's perfectly appropriate with Loki because Loki is the god of stories. So that actually might even explain why he's being all fourth wall breaky here, because of course Loki, deals with the author of the stories above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So we can get all metaphysical here.
Yeah, but supposedly he says they're like, what's the big scheme? But supposedly he, because they had this whole scheme with this plot of land in the Florida Everglades, but supposedly he just wants the land, maybe because the nexus of all realities is there. Yeah, but
it's all over the place in Florida, man. Florida is full of crazy, as Dave Barry will tell you.
Yeah, but then there's a tree there too. I guess it's part of the world. I guess it's part of the world tree.
Yep, Jaeger's drill.
Yeah, and for some reason Loki wants them to damage it because he'll face major consequences if he does. But then they trick him into kicking it. So then the Warriors 3 come and get him.
Yes.
Back to Odin.
Warriors 3.
Yeah, and then,
Warriors 3.
Yeah, so and then the issue ends. Remember that the reformed villain Scrambler, I guess the they kind of conned him out of it in the past. So with Loki tricked Deadpool and Gambit into conning him, but he I guess he ends up with the land because we even in the last panel they show Man Thing like standing behind him and his lawyer Jen Walters.
Yeah, the girl gets work, man.
I know this,
Because she's a
especially
good lawyer.
she she must have got a lot of cases pre Civil War, Charlie.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. That's why she was actually finally like turning a profit on the dang space, and
Mm-hmm.
then freaking Thanos goes and blows her up.
But yeah, this
yeah.
so I think this miniseries had some ups and downs, but overall it was pretty good, especially once they revealed that was Loki. This issue is a thumbs up. But did you see the next Deadpool miniseries they got coming out?
No, I have not. Who's he dealing with next?
It's called Deadpool Back in Black, and I don't know if it's the Venom symbiote or just a symbiote he gets his hands on.
Oh, who knows what it's gonna be? Okay, it should be cool. We do know that he's the one that drove the symbiote insane in the first place.
Oh, maybe it comes after him because of that.
That will be very weird and interesting because it will. I mean, honestly, the fourth wall breakery on that is just crazy because that ties back to Deadpool, Secret War, and I'm still waiting for Deadpool versus the Serpent Crown. Remember the Serpent Crown storyline?
Yes.
Deadpool Evolutionary War. I mean, they said that's the guy who wrote Deadpool Secret Wars. He said that's really what I want to do. I want to tell all these stories, but then we're going to tell them from Deadpool's perspective that when he wasn't even there yet.
Yeah.
Deadpool acts of vengeance. Will he be one of the vengeance seekers? Because was he kind of a villain at that point?
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting. Seeing him there with Loki and at the table with Kingpin. Oh, these are great stories, man. I can't wait to read them. Hope they make them someday.
So what's your book? What's your next book?
Okay, well, since we're speaking about Loki, let's go to Vote Loki number 4. The final episode of this series. So basically, people are like, we love Loki. Loki's awesome. Yay! Angela is not a fan of Loki, although there's... Inhuman guy tries to blow himself up and Loki. But of course, Angela saves them, which has Loki let down his guard just for a minute. So that Angela is told where the secret Hydra base is, because of course Loki became a contender for the presidency because he defeated a Hydra cell, saved the other presidents, and it's very interesting how it goes because the nation is divided. We see this great little scene where apparently, with the fear that Loki's going to become president, the current president and Congress all vote to strip the presidency of a lot of powers. Meanwhile, people who are still supporting Loki are getting terrorized by other voters. People are crazy and mad, and Loki's like, this is not what I wanted. He goes to Nisa Contreras, the reporter who has been after them, and says, well, it's very simple. We'll just have a press conference. And he waves his hand, and they're magically transported to a press conference filled with Loki supporters so he can answer questions from his own supporters. And that's when problems start. Because as it turns out, he really has no platform. He has nothing. And he kind of, doesn't really have an answer. He says, look, I want to be president and all this stuff. And, I just wanted you all to stop setting fires, because he gets mad at them for the way they're treating them. And then we get to election night. We see that, all the states are coming in. Doesn't look like Loki's going to win, but he could still turn it. Nisa Contreras gets her own talk show on the Fact Channel because now she's a super celebrity. And then we get this nice scene where Loki comes to her at the end and says, yeah, I'm going to concede. Don't worry. But I might as well let him sweat. And then he makes this little thing. It's like, oh, I am the god of stories, not the god of lies, but my story has no plot anymore. It's been reimagined too many times. Now I'm just trying to find my way through, yada, yada, yada. It kind of says, and maybe this whole thing was just to make up for a little girl whose house I destroyed. And she's like, no, you did not just do all this for me. I was fighting you this whole way. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's okay. And then it says, yeah, it says, yeah, could be that was the lesson all along. But I'm not the god of moral fables, am I? And then he opens up his little Nokia flip phone because, hey, he's old school. And says, "Hello, yes, this is Loki. I hope you appreciated my little show for for you on TV last night. Yes, because we both know you weren't doing very well before I came along and split the vote. Now were you? Yes, I think that would be a very adequate act of gratitude. Congratulations, I concede." Oh, it's just your classic Loki. It's a thumbs up on Loki. I love Loki. It has been a great run. It's nice the way they play on both the voters, play on the panic that people have, and also what I like about it is the fact that people once the mask is off, they're not like idiots, and it was a nice way they ran the whole story. So big thumbs up for the Loki storyline. I really think it came out nicely, and I can't wait to see what they do with Loki next. That's why I love Thor.
All right. Then I guess I'll do my X-Men block. I'll start with Extraordinary X-Men Annual #1. And like I was telling you, with all these titles and some of them coming out twice a month, do we really need annuals?
Yeah, and there's a Doctor Strange annual coming in next week. And I'm mad because I got a Adventure Time Spooktacular for $8 that got put on my pull list because I pulled Adventure Time for the kids. And I was like, I do not want to buy an $8 book.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Yeah. But the dang lady behind the counter guilted me into keeping it. It's on the pull list. I haven't yet. It's in my pull box, but I haven't bought it yet. So I may try to sneak in when someone else is there and put it back because it's like $8 for extra time. No.
Yeah. So anyway, the Extraordinary X-Men Annual. The whole thing is I guess the Terrigen Cloud is heading towards I guess it's a British prison. British prison. Because Storm's talking to some British officials, and they're telling her, they can't just take the prisoners out of the mutant prisoners out of the prison. Basically, the politics and all this, and it's going to take time. She's like, well, they don't have time. So her team of X-Men plan a jailbreak. But they have to be careful because there's like power dampeners in the prison, so like Nightcrawler can teleport in, but really can't teleport out. But they come up with a plan. Forge can shut down, I guess, the dampeners for like 5 seconds or something, so they'll have like a small window. Nightcrawler and Old Man Logan teleport in, and there's like a prison riot going on. But they find the mutants who are Ruckus and Ramrod. They were part of the Nasty Boys. Trying to remember if they appeared anywhere else. I know they were appeared. They were working with Mr. Sinister in in X Factor when Alex Summers was running X Factor. Mm-hmm. Like that Team Havoc, Polaris, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Mm-hmm. But I guess they were just on vacation in Britain, and they must have did something and got him arrested. So they're not even like British citizens or anything. So Storm's...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just surprised that they have superhuman villains in a prison that's not airtight. Because you'd think that, that's one of those things you want, is for it to not have... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems like a weird reason why they have to do a prison break for the mutant prisoners. That that either that they don't really have a protocol for moving prisoners for some reason, and that the prison itself can't withstand a little Terrigen mist.
Politics, Charlie, politics.
Yeah, I guess so. That's why I'm voting Loki.
But their whole plan to shut down the dampeners doesn't work, so Jean Grey has to take the wall apart telekinetically, and then kind of puts it back together. But once Ruckus and Ramrod are safe, they I guess they stick them in an American prison.
Yeah.
And
But there was just 2 mutants in the whole prison,
yeah, in that prison, yeah.
and they
And then
couldn't just move 2 mutants. Okay,
politics, Charlie.
I guess so.
That's what they told Storm, but then the officials find out, that what they did, and Storm's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've been sitting here talking to you the whole time, and you have no proof.
Yeah.
So that's basically that story. There was a short backup. It's Forge and what is her name? I think it's the girl from Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Oh, Moon Girl.
Yeah,
she's an Inhuman. The smartest girl in the Marvel universe, smartest person in the Marvel universe.
Actually, she's not an Inhuman. She's she's a latent Inhuman.
Yeah, that means that she got experience.
Oh, wait. Okay, because Forge is saying, she's Inhuman. Exposure to Terrigen will trigger transformation, and she said, no, not will. It did. I was trapped the last time the Terrigen cloud descended on New York. Okay, so she is.
Yeah.
So I guess another cloud's coming, and she's telling Forge to go, but I guess they're kind of trapped or something. But she was building a rocket, and Forge is like, this thing's not going to fly, but then it actually flies, and they fly away from the Terrigen cloud.
Yay!
It was a sweet little story. It was just a short little backup, but it was good. Overall, I mean, yeah, your whole point, why couldn't they just move those prisoners? I get it, but besides that, it was a pretty good story. It's a thumbs up.
Especially since it's just 2 prisoners. It's not like it's like,
I know.
We have to empty the raft and we don't have a place to put that many superhumans, Mm-hmm. And, it's like, Okay, anyway, moving right along.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next X-Men book, Civil War II, X-Men number 4. Once again, the last issue of this miniseries. Seemed like a lot of miniseries ended this week.
Yeah. And next week too, because I think that's the end of Nighthawk and some other ones next week too. So, got to make way for the next round of big books because we're going to talk about that on Super Connectivity.
Yeah. So this one, Magneto and Rachel Gray are breaking into New Attilan because Magneto wants to confront Ulysses, which he gets to him, and then they show the 2 teams of X-Men, fighting it out. I guess Magneto's team is trying to keep Storm's team from getting to him. Ulysses said he was expecting Magneto. Of course he was.
Of course.
And Magneto's like, you know why I'm here? And Ulysses is like, I know. I was just hoping I could talk you out of it. He's like, you think I'm some kind of weapon? He's like, and Magneto's like, yeah, in my experience, it is the weapons that turns a Cold War into the real thing. Ulysses said there's so many catastrophes he sees.
Yeah, that doesn't make any real sense, saying it's the weapons that turn the Cold Wars into the real things, because actually it was the weapons that kept the Cold War from turning into the real thing. Because we had nuclear weapons, mutually assured destruction. So,
but
yeah, I'm just saying his logic is always is flawed, Magneto.
Oh yeah. But
Magneto, you're not a good leader.
Well, Ulysses tells him, he says, you need to know this isn't going to turn out the way you think. And of course, the X-Men are still fighting until Storm's team gets reinforcements. I guess Ulysses shows Magneto what he sees, and basically what he shows him is all the mutants like battling each other. I'm assuming this is like, he's telling Magneto, if you take this action, you kill me, you're gonna set mutant kind against itself.
Well, yeah, I could see that.
Because after the Storm's team makes it, then New Attilan and Rachel Gray's like, you can stand down, you can relax. Magneto has left the building, and he's left Ulysses safe and sound with the Inhumans. And she said she wiped the memory of their presence from the guards. And they're like, why did Magneto just stop? It's not his style. And Rachel's like, Ulysses showed him something. But I guess none of them knows what he saw. But I guess, I don't know if she tracked him down or what, but then they have Medusa talking to Magneto, and he's saying he's like telling Medusa, you knew what the boy was going to show me, and he's like, Ulysses showed you something too, a vision of bloodshed and tragedy, not too dissimilar from what he showed me. You, like me, are unwilling to sacrifice your people today. And she tells him, you are not welcome here. If you return, no matter your intentions, you will be seen as an enemy, and you will be dealt with as such. And he says, rest assured, Medusa, when I return, it will definitely be as an enemy.
Bum, bum, bum.
So
then from Magneto.
Then we see Nightcrawler make up with Storm, and then the issue ends with Psylocke's all mad at Magneto. She's like, I'm not your partner anymore. I'm your bloody chaperone.
Pretty much.
And then Rachel Gray, and then Rachel Gray's like, well, you already have your psychic back. I'm gonna leave. And he's like, Magneto's like, don't go too far. People are still in danger. A version of the future you know where mutants are all but extinct is still on the horizon. He's like, I doubt Psylocke will stand by my side for too much longer. Not when she realizes the lengths I'll go to prevent that future from dawning. The end.
Bum, bum, bum.
And of course, next issue it's like, don't miss the death of X #1.
Oh no!
I guess where we see what happened to Cyclops, old Cyclops.
Yeah, old man Cyclops. He gets mutilated. I'm gonna imagine.
But good issue
because they can kill him just easy because they've got a backup Cyclops in this universe now.
That's right.
So it's like we don't really need the two Cyclopsies.
Cyclopsies.
Cyclopsy.
But yeah, it was good. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
And my last X-Men book is All New Wolverine #12.
Yay!
Remember I told you last issue, like Old Man Logan stabbed Gabby, the young clone, and so they show him dropping Gabby's body. Steve Rogers tries to take down Old Man Logan, but they're fighting in a fountain in the park. So Logan like cuts his way down, I guess, into the sewers or something. Because they don't know where he went. Maria Hill up in the helicarrier says she did like a thermal scan and she said he's down there. And Laura tells Steve Rogers, no, I'll go deal with him. She says, you've done enough. And she says, you think he would have lashed out like this if you didn't shoot him out of the sky? You think he would have lost his mind if you didn't fill him full of tranquilizers? She's like, do you honestly believe this prediction would have come true if you hadn't attacked him? So she hands Steve Gabby's body and she dives into the sewers. And then she finds Logan and she says, you don't get to hide from this. She was a kid and she was us. She was like, what are you? What did they do to you? She goes, you're not Logan. You're just some twisted perversion with his face. And they both pop their claws.
Gabby has a healing factor, right?
Well, they're fighting. And then Steve Rogers is about to cover up with a sheet until she pops back up. She's awake.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you killed I'm not following. Okay.
I'm trying to remember if they knew if she had a healing factor. I don't know.
She's a Wolverine. Of course she has a healing. I mean, Steve Rogers maybe didn't know.
Yeah.
But okay, I get. But except I would think that Shield would be. Yeah, no, that's totally a Wolverine clone. Because that's what they are. It's. Okay.
I don't know if her powers are just started coming out because right as Laura's like gonna try to kill Old Man Logan, Gabby grabs her hand and she's like, Laura, stop. And then Laura's like, cow, and Gabby like pops out one bone claw, and I guess so. I don't know if her powers are just coming out now or. Yeah, I don't know because she
already like crazy assassin ladies.
Well,
I guess all the Wolverine girls have died previous to this, right? So
yeah, all the other clones died, and they were older than Gabby. So I don't know if it
So, I don't know. I'm not following it. The logic seems a little discombobulated to me.
Yeah, well, most mutants don't come out with their power. What is it, like puberty or something? When puberty hits,
but then the other ones aren't useful as assassins then, it's...
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they were...
They don't have any powers yet, so...
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
They're going to train assassins, because...
Yeah.
reasons.
Well, the clones escaped, so I don't know if they popped Gabby out of the oven before she was, fully done,
For- yeah, yeah.
But so Laura's asking Logan, she goes, "Did you know she was like us when you?" And he says, "No, not for sure." And Laura says, "You killed her, didn't you, in your world?" And he says, "No, you killed each other." He says, "You don't understand what she's capable of. She's worse than both of us. You can't trust her. She took you away." And Laura's like, "That wasn't her. That's not her future." And she says, "But I can see what's coming for you. I've heard what you did. I can smell the rage, the fear, the death all over you." She goes, "Tell me, in your world, was there anyone you loved who didn't die just because they knew you?" And
Nope.
then she's like,
Thanks for asking.
"Nope, nope." She's like, "Stay away from her, stay away from us. You keep your violence away." She says, "I smell you anywhere near. I will make sure they throw you in a cage. Do you understand?" And he says, "But I'm," and she goes, "No, you're not." She goes, "He was loved. He's missed." And then they're walking away, and Gabby says, "I'm sorry all this happened." And Logan says, "You hurt her. I will come for you." And Gabby says, "Fair enough. You bring a single ounce of pain into that perfect woman's life, and I will put you down like a rabid dog. Bye."
Wolverines.
Yeah, so they go back up, and Steve Rogers is like, "Where's Logan?" And Laura's like, "He's gone." And he's like, "What does that mean?" And she's like, "It means he'll stay out of your way." And he's like, Director Hill wants him in custody. He has to answer for his crimes. And Laura says, "Crimes that wouldn't have occurred if you didn't preemptively attack him." And then
Well,
Gabby's
but
like,
again, and I got to make that statement. That is such an assumption everyone's making on these things. It's like, no, because you know what? He has this prejudice against Gabby. He has this anger at Gabby. So,
Mhm.
no, you know what? Even if he didn't, he's probably going to be he is a danger to Gabby regardless, because he says, Gabby took you away from me. Gabby did this. Gabby did that,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so they're basically Laura and Gabby are all, because Gabby says, "Yeah, this is a little bit weird. You're Captain America, aren't you? Like all about liberty, freedom for all, except that guy. He could possibly maybe do something bad. We should lock him away just in case." And Laura says, "When I was younger, I killed and you let me go." And Steve says, "I did." And she goes, "Why?" And he says, "Because you weren't in control. You were a victim." And she says, "Logan wasn't in control either. He's damaged and he's dangerous. But I'd say the same thing about anyone in power who wants to punish people for crimes they haven't committed. The prediction came true, but everyone lived through it. Just leave him alone, Cap. You can only make it worse." And then she's saying, "The kid who can see the future, he'll divide you all. Everyone will be a bit right and a bit wrong." And then she's going on like that, and then she's saying, "Tell Hill we're going away somewhere. Shield can't find us. Tell her I know something about her future. I know we're not in it."
Bum, bum,
The,
bum.
the end.
And
And
that was cool.
yeah, thumbs up. Next issue, Enemy of the State 2.
Oh, boy. Another shield helicarriers going down. Why do they make the helicarriers? I don't know. Okay, I think that was the better idea of using submarines. I don't know. Okay, let's go to It's Patsy, aka Hellcat, number 10. So when last we left our intrepid hero, she had been banished by her ex, Damon Hellstrom, not Damien Hellstorm, Damon Hellstrom. She's in some sort of hell dimension, it seems, and she's talking to She-Hulk, but then She-Hulk turns to Hetty, and then she's back at the Centerville High School, which she says was never really the reality that she was. That this was just the crazed, or this was just the Stepford version that her mother imagined her life as. Then we get a neat cutaway here, because as she's talking to She-Hulk, she's saying, all I've been trying to do is stay away from all this to just put my life back together. And then She-Hulk says, "Yes, that's right. How is that working out to you?" And we get this cool cut to She-Hulk in like a hospital gown, and she's blue, Because we do know that she's coming back in a gray. That, or at least we're getting this implication that we're going to get a gray She-Hulk coming up. So fingers crossed on that. Cut back to the real world where Mad Dog and it's a very interesting way they do this story because they are playing nicely with the real psychological difficulties and tortures that Patsy has gone through, while they're still keeping this very light, magical art style to it as well. This almost but not quite breaking of a fourth wall aspect of it. We get to this great scene with Patsy's mother dying, and then we see Hetty show up. I still say that Hetty's mom did the body switch on her, and that's Hetty, or that Patsy's mom is in Hetty's body. I think Hetty is in the cat. We do meet Belial, who is the demon of this universe that is torturing her, and he's trying to make a deal with her. Like, look, you have all this hate and anger and rage inside you. You've got all this power inside you that you don't even realize how much you have. I want to help you unleash it. And she's like, well, I'm not a villain. And he's like, well, I'm just, you say that now. But they go back to the real world. We see Ian's telekinesis is actually super powerful because he actually holds Belial in a telekinesis bubble until Hellstrom sends him back. We get this nice little interplay between Mad Dog and Hellstrom, who are, of course, Patsy's evil exes, and we do get that they're both actually still pretty sweet on her. Then we cut to this scene of what's her name? Black Cat, who of course we all know is amassing her power throughout the underworld. She's got her own little team of backup super gals, and they are going to. And she's going to come after Patsy, and she makes this interesting point. And says, and she's her underling says, doesn't exactly look like much of a threat, boss. He says she just took out a hell demon. Lena says, sure, but not on her own. You get that many of anything in a group, and they can be dangerous. So we get her alone, and no skin off my nose, but. What's your beef with her anyway? And says, well, everyone's off fighting aliens and each other. She's one of the few street-level heroes paying enough attention to be a problem. Plus, she's biting my style. And I think it's time we took her out. And then, of course, next issue is going to be Patsy versus Black Cat. It's going to be cool, man. Thumbs up on Hellcat. It's still a good book. I go back and forth on it because it's like, on one hand, I really like the kind of stories they're telling. I think the art really takes me out of it, and I think that there's this this kookiness to the story that just kind of, I think Hellcat has a lot of great depth, and they're certainly exploring it right here. And I think that part of this arc is going to be that mood shift. As we get more into, and again, I think of like the Age of the Century where you would get these mood shifts, but they're doing it over a much more prolonged period here, and so it's a little. I can see where they're going. I'm hoping they get there, but I'm still buying the book. Although books might have to get cut, man. Not everything is going to get canceled. So okay, so that was my last book on my own.
All right. Up for my last three on my own. I'll go to Guardians of the Galaxy number 12. It opens up. The Guardians are basically sitting in their cloak ship, waiting for that confrontation we see in Civil War, in the main Civil War miniseries. Rocket's talking about, how backwards Earth is and how much he doesn't like coming here because he's like, your whole worldwide communication system is still text and picture based. He says, and he thinks it's ridiculous how all we want to do is throw down with each other over something as random as skin pigmentation. He's like, you're all killing each other in the streets over nothing. He's like, you're letting money grubbers hold back any real progress, and let's not even get into how you idiot humans pick your leaders.
Politics.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're all sitting in the ship. I think Carol Danvers tells them to just sit and wait until she needs them, and Ben Grimm wants her to send the intern out for pizza. So they're sitting there, and then they see when Tony Stark's people show up, and they see the confrontation, and they're getting ready, and Rocket's like, "Oh, we'll have this cleaned up in like 5 minutes," and Star Lord's like, "Even for you, that is cocky." He's like, "They have a Thor," and Agent Venom says, "And Doctor Strange," and Drax says, "There seem to be two of some," and Ben Grimm's like, "Two Iron People, two Captain Americas. I have been out in space a long time." And then Agent Venom saying, you and don't discount Cage and Vision, and Drax says, "They are both mighty," and Agent Venom says, "Mighty, mighty," and Drax says, "Then this went from favor to fun." So then the part where Tony says, "Stand down and do the," tells Carol, "Stand down, you're outpowered today, do the math and stand down." So Carol says, "Outpowered hardly," and that's when the Guardians pop out. And they show them popping out of the ship. Then they go 14 minutes later, their ship gets shot down.
Oh my.
Yeah, and then it's like 36 minutes later, it's still sitting there burning, and Star-Lord's like, "You can fix that, right?" And Rocket says, "Sure, I can. It's only," and it explodes some more. It's like completely gone. And Carol Danvers is like, exactly how many times is that thing going to explode in one day? And Rocket says, "Are you complaining about how we just lost everything we own because we came to this mud ball to help your sorry Glunknard?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So so they're talking about they lost everything. Rocket's like, "We lost everything we have, and we're stuck here." Then everyone's cleaning up, like Kitty's talking to the X-Men, and Star-Lord's talking to Carol Danvers. Meanwhile, Gamora here sees two guards walk by, and one says, "I want a sub-basement report. I want an update on everyone down there, and I want a Thanos update ASAP."
Uh-oh.
To be continued.
Oh, yeah.
Gamora's not going to be happy.
I don't know why. They have Thanos in prison. Why are you upset about it?
Because she wants to kill him.
Yeah, well, okay. So does Black Panther. Give us a minute, okay? It's not like, oh no, we're gonna, Black Panther wants to kill pretty much everybody right now. So it's like, just chill, girl. Just chill. We get to it.
Okay, but thumbs up. I will go to Astonishing Ant-Man number 12. The Trial of the Astonishing Ant-Man. Did you glance at this at all?
Oh no, I have not gotten the chance to, man. I have been.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, it's been crazy this week.
But I like
I've been a lot to do it. Just have been exhausted. I'm getting no sleep. I don't know why.
I hear that too. But I like on the info page they actually say this story takes place before the events of Civil War II. So
there we go. So because Jen Walters is in it. Yeah, I'm gonna go read it later. I just haven't gotten a chance to yet. I just. All the books I have to read.
But so basically Scott's in court with Jen, and she's telling him, you might have some the jury might look at you friendly thanks to Darla's reality show, and he says we could introduce my Doom glove as evidence, from that time I beat up Dr. Doom. You were there. And she says, "Yeah, maybe hold off on that." The judge.
He did do that.
The judge comes out and he tells the media to keep it calm. It's a colorful case, but he wants the quorum in the courtroom, and then he says, "There will be no alien invasions or time-traveling Scott Lang coming back to warn us about the future. The first person who puts on tights without my expressed consent is going to find themselves in contempt." And he says, "Do you understand me, Mr. Lang, Miss Walters?" And Scott goes, he whispers, "Oh no, we got the Ghostbusters 2, Judge."
Oh yeah. And most kids today ain't even going to get that reference. They don't even know there was a Ghostbusters 2.
That's right. But guess who's prosecuting on the other side, Charlie?
Please don't tell me it's Matt Murdock.
No, it's Janice Lincoln, who is the new female Beetle.
Wait, she's a lawyer too? and a prosecutor.
You wanted to know who was worse than
Boy.
Matt Murdock.
Yeah, well, apparently. Crazy.
And then, guess, what's his face? The purple. Guess who Darren Cross brings in to help his son?
Well, I'm guessing the Purple Man, or
No. Remember, Darren Cross is purple now, but
oh yeah.
no, he brings in
more. I don't know.
No, he brings in Egghead.
Egghead's alive?
I guess, yeah.
Or his daughter.
No, it's Egghead.
Oh, good old classic. Well, thank you, Franklin Richards, for once again bringing a supervillain back to life. You know, because sure.
So, but yeah, back in court, Jen wants Scott to like out, the prosecutor's the female, is the Beetle, because she's like, we can get a mistrial, and Scott says, no, I can't do that. He says exposing her will expose everybody, Darla, Smith and Grizzly, Raz, and he says, and Cassie. Then they show Cassie watching the trial, and her mom's like, oh, I can't believe your father did all this, and Cassie's like, no, it's all my fault. He told me to go along with it. He was just trying to help me.
Okay. Why is Beetle as a supervillain going to put everyone else in danger? I guess because she knows, or
what?
I mean, I'm not understanding why explaining that the Beetle is that the prosecutor is also a supervillain is.
Well, I guess she asked to come in because she wanted to stick it to Scott, because she said, well, that's what you get for not calling back.
But wasn't she like part of his team, or?
Yeah, but remember, they slept together too.
Well, yeah, I understand that premise.
Well, I think she went along with them to try to see what she could steal. She really wasn't interested in helping Cassie. She went with them so she.
No, I understand that. I'm just thinking that she has a way more to lose by presenting her alter ego as the prosecutor here.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
I mean, honestly, right now they could say, I think maybe you should recommend a nice plea deal, community service, and time served.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing she knows what's going on, that he's not going to expose his daughter.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, his daughter actually has been a young Avenger for a while now. It's not like there's that much exposing to say, oh, and by the way, she's also now a singer.
Well, I don't think Scott doesn't want her to get arrested or charged with the break-ins. Yeah.
Yeah, I think She-Hulk's basically just phoning this one in. Because she's not that bad of a lawyer. This isn't like we're dealing with Matt Murdock here.
Well, she even says to him, he goes, I get it, you're angry, and she tells him, he goes, and nobody likes, and she goes, no, nobody likes you, Scott. You know why? Because of bleep like this. She goes, do you get the position you're putting me in? Do you even understand what professional ethics are? And he says, in my defense, it's a very dry Wikipedia article. And he says, I know this is really, really bad. He's like, but please, future Foundation buddies for life. And like She-Hulk actually, like, I guess paints like a big picture, like a good picture of him for the jury, like, he was with the Avengers and everything. And then the Beetle gets up, and she's like, you're gonna hear a lot of stories about the astonishing Ant-Man. He was a member of the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. He even defeated Doctor Doom. And Scott's like, yeah, I totally did that. But she says, She says, I want to talk to you about someone else, someone considerably less noble. Some might even call him Ant-Man's greatest enemy, Scott Lang. And she paints the picture, that he was already a convicted felon before he even became Ant-Man. He abandoned his family, she says. A man who burned bridges with some of the most respected members of the superhuman community. A man so reckless as a parent that his daughter was killed and only resurrected by a miracle. And, his whole cover story was that he kidnapped her. So, that's why she was at the lab. And so the Beetle's like, a man so craven, he now has kidnapped that same daughter and forced her to act as his accomplice. It would have been the heist of the century for Florida. And Jen Walters is like, yeah, we're screwed. But the, the issue ends with Darren Cross showed Egghead. I guess he knows about the secret lab and the Ant-Man helmet. So he got his hands on the Ant-Man helmet. Him and Egghead go in there, and he found. Guess what he finds? It's a some kind of armor. For it must. It's a battle armor specifically built for Pym particle users. And guess what armor it is, Charlie? It looks kind of familiar, like from
Phil,
a
you
movie.
there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay.
I couldn't hear you for a while there.
Okay, yeah, something must happen. Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear what I said? They Egghead and Cross they went into Hank Pym's lab in the helmet.
Yeah, they went into the helmet. So,
Yeah.
and I had asked,
And
do they like have like Pym particles?
Yeah, well, they found battle armor that's supposed to be used for Pym particle users, and guess what armor it is? It looks kind of familiar, like maybe from a movie.
Oh yeah, the yellow jacket armor. Okay.
Yep, that's what they don't call it out by name, but that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But it was good. Thumbs up.
Very good.
And my last one on my own, International Iron Man #7.
Oh, I haven't read that one yet. Okay.
From the looks of it, might be the last issue.
Well, this is I think eventually going to become infamous, so I think that's what's going to take that slot next week.
Yeah. So it starts in the I guess it shows, they're still going on about Tony Stark's parents. I guess they show Howard and Maria Stark were having trouble having a baby. Then they flash to the hotel in Berlin where it left off last issue. Jude and Amanda are getting attacked by Hydra agents. They escape when the cops show up. And Amanda was, I don't know, was she shot in the leg or something? But she was injured. Basically, Shield tells her, take some time off and just, focus on your career. And she actually is trending on the charts, and she says, did Shield buy a bunch of copies of my record or something? And they're like, no, it would appear people just like your song.
Oh. She's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, so she's back on
2
tour.
hits if you count Tony.
Oh, jeez. So I think it's at least a couple months, maybe. She's on tour, and then Jude shows up again. Her
Jude.
tour, she's telling her. Yeah. Then they flash ahead 2 years. Looks like she's recording another album or something. But Jude's there, and 2 years later, he has a very familiar-looking mustache, Charlie.
Apparently the mustache is genetic.
I guess, yeah. But she gives him a present. It's a positive pregnancy test, Charlie.
Oh my.
And then 9 months later, of course, she's due any time now. But they show Jude. He's in the bathroom bleeding. He was, I guess he's saying he was on a job. And Amanda says, I'm out. I told them I'm done. And Shield said, too bad. Pregnant women make the best agents. And Jude says, we can disappear, right now, today. And Amanda says, what would we do for money? He says, I have money. And they're talking about, she says, well, what about Shield? And he keeps going on about what's the difference between Shield and Hydra? They both kill people. And she says, no, one is a bunch of whacked out terrorists. And he says, and the other one is Hydra. And she's like, uh-huh. And he says, Hydra's made it so we can never have to work a day in our lives. We can go anywhere in the world we want. We can raise the baby any way that you want, you and me. And she's like, wait, so how did Hydra make this? You're an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he's like, it's all just a game. We're all just players in it. And if you can get out of the game with more than what you came into it with, then you won. And she's like, Hydra set you up. You're working for them. And he's like, it's all the same. And she's like, Hydra murders people. He's like, so does S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, bad people. He's like, believe what you want, but you're being insanely naive. She's like, are you an agent of Hydra?
Name Ward? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. I don't know if they ever said. But he's like, yeah, you're just putting labels on stuff. And And then she's like, "You sold them intelligence. You sold out agents." And he's like, "Yeah." And remember he was wounded, so he's like, "Here." He's like, "Grab the scissors and cut that gauze," because he's putting some gauze on. Well, she picks up the scissors, Charlie, and she stabs him in the neck and kills him.
Wait, she killed
And
Jude?
yes.
Oh boy. Tony's family.
Yeah. And she calls Shield and she tells them, "I want out." She says, "I want one favor from you, and then you'll never see me again. I want you to find this baby a safe and happy home." And the Shield agent's like, "That's not what we do." And later they show Howard's talking to some Shield officials, and he's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, they're like, "There's a baby a field agent's about to deliver the baby, and she wants us to get rid of it for her." And Howard's like, "Does this happen?" "Almost never." And he says, "What do you do when it does?" And the agent says, "Well, we drop the kid into an orphanage somewhere in Europe. And then the shield agent says, "Then we burn the fowls." And Howard's like, "Where in Europe?" But then guess what? Howard comes home. Maria was all depressed because they were having trouble conceiving. But guess what? He came home with a baby. Wonder who that could be. Maria says, "Does he have a name?" And
wait. Howard just brings home a random baby without talking to his wife about it.
I guess to cheer her up because they've been having trouble conceiving a child, Charlie.
That's very whacked out, okay? Not for nothing. That is like...
I know.
You ever see Sex in the City where Mr. Hyde brings home the paper baby for Charlotte? It's like, dude, not cool. For realsies. It's like, hey, honey, I know you don't feel good like you can have a baby, but guess what? Went down to the shop and picked one up. Hope you like it. It's got brown eyes. They were all out of blue.
She's like, "Does he?" She's like, "Does he have a name?" And he's like, "Anthony. The birth mother wants the name to remain." And the issue ends basically with Tony back with Amanda, and she realizes, "Wait, you're Iron Man," and he's like, "Yeah, and I love your music." And they basically hug and everything, and like I said, this is I think this is the last issue because to be continued in Invincible Iron Man #1, because it says the story continues in Invincible Iron Man #1 and Infamous Iron Man #1.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna say, big old lame. It's just lame. It's just a lame story. Bendis, this is this is like finding out that what Fury whispered to Thor was, your hair looks really stupid. And it's like, oh, now I'm unworthy. It's like, it's okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay, Tony's mom had it going on and was apparently, I don't know. It's like, and like I said, the whole, hey, honey, can't have a baby. No, it's making you sad. Guess what? Without talking to you at all about what I was going to do, because reasons, I didn't think that it would be it's not an important thing for the mother of the child to know where the child comes from, right? That's not a thing. I'm just going to go and pick one up. And, if you don't like it, we'll go get another one, whatever. I don't care. You're the one that wants one of these brats. I'm really not following. I'm really not getting. This is like the most ridiculous thing Marvel has ever done. Ever. Including Skrull Cows. Okay? This is more ridiculous than Skrull Cows. This is insanely stupid. And they don't even have Reed Richards to blame it on. I'm sorry. This is just Bendis. It's a bad story and you should feel bad. Okay? This is what we've been waiting for, Bendis? No, Bendis. We're very disappointed in you. Go in the corner. Think about what you've done. We haven't even gotten to Civil War 2 yet.
I gave it a 3/4 up thumb. You
were going to give it the full thumbs up. That's fine, Phil. You liked it.
No, I wasn't.
You actually read. It's okay, man. You're allowed to like stuff. I'm just saying. Okay, the whole. Who is Tony's parents? A random Shield agent and some singer lady. Ooh, you never saw that coming. It's like, yes, we never saw that coming because that is pretty random. It's not like we didn't see it coming because it's what a shock. It's like, okay, he was just an unwanted a mistaken pregnancy.
Mhm.
Okay, that's
No, I agree. I agree with you.
and
There's
then
a lot of.
and like I said, the idea that Tony isn't. I mean, or what? Who's Tony's dad?
Jude?
No.
Howard?
Howard. And like as far as Howard Stark, it's like, okay, so I guess now Howard Stark really didn't give a crap about Tony. Because apparently he was just a guy he went and picked up at the local store. Like literally just walked over. Yeah, what I'll do. And like for what it's worth, why is that the one he was? It's not like, we're not going to let Howard Stark adopt the baby. It's like literally, why was this the baby he adopted? What was this storyline here? I guess aside from that, it's a Shield baby, and none of this makes any sense to me at all. I'm just like, I'm looking at this story, I'm like saying, okay. Yeah, okay.
All right, move on.
Move on. Okay.
All right.
You want me to do Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah, my pick of the week. Do it. I want to see.
Oh, that's my pick of the week. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't know if we should end with that as because I really think this was like the best book. Or if we want to do it, just do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. After this, kids, it's all downhill.
Out of our mouth.
Yeah. Okay. So of course everyone knew when Anna goes into sleep mode what that meant back from across the Spider-Verse. It's great. So we basically see that Otto has his brain is in the gauntlets, the Spider-Bot gauntlets. But he doesn't know, he's thinking he's going to go immediately jump into Parker's brain after he comes online. But then he realizes, wait, he got rid of me once. He might do it again. I've already failed. I can't just jump into him willy-nilly because then I won't have another backup. We see him download into the living brain. Although again, for what it's worth, we're going to get into this weird idea about, how many copies of Otto are out there. We see, Anna getting into this relationship with Aiden. Oh, and actually what's very cool in this is we actually see that basically the reason, and again, like I said, Peter, no respect for all the hard work Otto did for him. We find out the entire reason why Parker Industries is this multinational corporation is because Otto, as the living brain, has been basically manipulating stuff behind everyone's back to build this company up so that everyone else is like, I don't know. Apparently we sold a bunch of contracts. I don't know why, but apparently we're building stuff for the military now. Who knew? I don't know. But hey, it's $1 billion, so yay for us. Apparently everyone at Parker Industries is real dim. Because, of course, when Otto's planning to take out Aiden, he realizes, I can't download it into his brain because I didn't design it for his brain. Okay. No comment on that. That little bit there, but it works out. Everybody does this great. You will have to go, and then we get. I have to go. I said, no, I got this great job offer. I don't know what happened. I fell asleep, and all of a sudden, I'm getting like bid on by competing companies, and everyone just accepts it. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm like a real hot demand property now. So okay, I'm off to Australia. And Anna has a nice conversation with the living brain about how, she was dating Peter, but it wasn't Peter, it was Otto. But now that she's like done research on Otto, she could never be with Otto again because he's like a crazy kook. Fair enough. And Otto starts his plotting. And they make this great bit here, which I really loved, about Otto being turned off. and like what happens to his data processor when he gets turned off. And the answer is nothing. Which is, yeah, you know, because it does really put him into this spot that this is not Otto. This is a computer program that thinks it's Otto. Much in the and for what's really interesting about, you really want to get esoteric on this, it's not even Otto. It's the computer program that was in Parker's brain, that when Parker's brain thought it was Otto, and now it got re-downloaded into this thing. So it's really, Otto is long dead and thought he was Peter Parker when he died. That is the truth of Otto. And so he's there, and Pete's saying, I didn't tell you guys to come to New York. He says, well, the living brain's been acting weird, so we're going to do some research into him. And Otto finds out the reason he's not is because he sacrificed himself. He said the other Parker, that he said that Peter was the superior Spider-Man, and basically, rather than allow himself to be shut off, he destroys the living brain. But then we see that he's downloaded himself back into his gauntlets, which I guess now have a full charge. I don't know. As he plots his revenge, knowing that he has to clone himself a new body. And we do get a nice thing where we do see that Anna really does care more about the living brain than about Peter. I really hope Anna and Otto can make this work. I think those two crazy kids belong together. Although we definitely know that as soon as Otto has his own life back, Peter's business is going to go right into the crap. Because clearly that man has no head for business. Super thumbs up on this. I said, bring back Otto, and I'm back. And hey, you brought back Otto, and I came back. So there you go, guys. You got your $4 out of me because you brought back my superior Spider-Man. Big thumbs up. Definitely the pick of the week.
Oh, yeah. Pick of the week.
Okay. So what do you want to do next, Phil?
I don't know. Do you want to do Civil War 2 number 5?
Yeah, might as well.
That Bendis.
Bendis.
I mean, before we get to your problems with the issue, basically it's just the big, knockdown, drag out fight between Tony Stark's side and Carol Danvers' side. That end scene.
Yeah, that's basically the whole problem with it. It's a fight book. It's here's my punch. Here's your punch. Well, let me punch you then. Well, I'll punch you now. And it's like, okay. I like the tourists complaining that they're not seeing any superheroes. Like, well, guess what, kiddo? Here we go. There's nice banter, I guess, which is good. We see Ulysses feeling bad about all the trouble he's causing. We see a great little Blue Marvel Luke Cage smackdown. Let's see here. We get a little flash of Hawkeye wandering the earth like freaking kung fu, which is fine. I really don't know why he's going to be in charge of the Occupy Avengers, because that's just nutty, quite frankly. Because he is like the poster child of like superhuman privilege, We see Sam Wilson versus Magic. Magic makes him fall through a hole. We see Rocket shooting a bunch of people. Battle. We see Venom versus Miles Morales Spider-Man. He's all like, "You're not the real Spider-Man. Spider-Man." We see Vision. We see Medusa and the Inhumans showing up. We see Tony Stark getting his butt kicked, and then we see the vision of Ulysses. And what do we see, Philly?
It appears that Miles Morales has not only defeated Steve Rogers, but stabbed him through the chest.
Yeah, in like the smoldering ruins of the Capitol building. So, that's all.
See, thanks to Ulysses' visions, now everyone thinks Miles is going to go nuts and kill like this beloved icon, but What if he goes all? What if that's because he was all Hydra Cap and Miles was defending himself?
You think? You think that might be what we're away from this? Have they? Could they? Did you want? I mean, did it need to be a little more heavily handedly put? Yes, yes. That's exactly what it is. But for what it's worth, it's also Miles sitting here saying, "Hey, I saw it. I felt it too. I'm going to kill Captain America. Why am I going to kill Captain America? What did we see? What did it mean? Blah 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 blah. And are we just marching towards that outcome because have we changed the outcome by measuring it, as Professor Farnsworth might say? Not the worst book ever written. Certainly not the worst book Bendis wrote this week. I didn't even read that. I didn't even read International Iron Man, but I cannot believe. It really sounds like they just like sort of pasted that together. Like, okay, well, I gotta get Tony adopted. So yeah, here we go. So Howard goes, picks up a baby and says, "Hey, here's a baby. You want a baby? I got you one. Enjoy the baby. It's a Shield agent baby." So I guess that's good, right? Because Shield agents having babies, there's nothing could go wrong with that. It's not like his father was a Hydra agent or something. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Bendis, you've done what I've never seen happen before. You have angered Charlie Esser.
Oh, look, I've gotten angry before. When a book is bad, I'll say it's bad. And that just, like I said, I don't want to get too horrible because I didn't read it, but it's like, oh, for fudge's sake. Nathaniel Richards being the father was a better story. Dr. Doom being the father was a better story. Random Shield agent who changed turncoat number 4. Okay, I guess just as well as anything. Secret Shield orphanage. Sure, why not? Like, why?
I know you're worked up. You use the F. You use the F word.
Oh, fudge! Yeah, man, it's fudging messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's what I'm gonna say. Why do you need? Okay, so we're taking the baby away from the Shield mother, and we're putting them in Eastern Europe because it's like why can't they go to that Nevada orphanage where you put Rick Jones? That might have made sense. I mean, like, why? It's like I'm just struggling to try and understand how any of this makes sense.
Don't. You're just hurting yourself. Stop. Bendis, you broke Charlie Esser.
Yeah, it's like, dude, where were you going with this? What was this supposed to be? What did you want it to be? Because you didn't do it. Whatever you wanted, it's not what you got. You got something completely wrong. I mean, it's just like, and now it's canon. Oh, well.
Franklin Richards, we need you.
I can't even blame Franklin for this, quite frankly. It's because they'd already done this. There's no way to. It's like this. There's nothing really to fix. I mean, it's just the story. It's a stupid story, but so are Skrull cows. But you know why the Skrull cows worked? Because everyone knew it was a stupid story. Everyone knew it was a stupid bit. But then someone went back and said, well, you know what? If we're going to take this stupid story, if we're going to take this stupid bit, what can we make it interesting? And said, well, what if the cows give milk and that milk turns people into Skrulls? It's like, oh, well, that's crazy and fun. Okay, we'll do that as a Fantastic Four annual. And someone said, well, hell, if they're using the cows for milk, maybe some of them got turned into hamburgers. What happens if you eat Skrull meat? Which is actually kind of weird if the implication of all that is that, if you eat a Skrull, you gain Skrull power. That's a little crazy. But apparently that's where they're going with all this.
In Harley Quinn, it just turned people into zombies.
Yes, well, Oh, Harley. Yes.
All right, let's get to the last book.
Last book. Do you want to do this or you want me to run through it?
Go ahead. I had a lot this week.
Okay. So basically, I was mistaken. Jane Foster showing up is not Loki in disguise. Loki is not that noble yet.
Nope.
Fight. Who Jane Foster is isn't clear, but she's like talking to Thor and saying, "Look, you can see through my eyes, and you can do this and that and the other." Fighting on the auger protocols, whole thing falling down to Earth, and they shoot the gold bullet. They shoot another gold bullet that apparently they had. Oh no, okay, no, the bullet. They pull the bullet out of Thor, which turns the whole Roxanne Island into gold, which is kind of cool. Thor basically throws the AIM Island into the sun after all the bad guys are captured. Great line here with the Silver Samurai Jr., where he says, "I'm a CEO with a battle armor. What makes any of that sound like I'm arrestable?" But somehow they do arrest him because everyone's arrested at the end. After Thor, throws the Golden Island into the sun, which is good because at least it's not going to devalue gold the way that the Beyonders' golden building did. They're arresting Augur. They're arresting Dominatrix. Although it's weird, they have her mask off. I always thought she had a super scarred up face, but she's just got a normal face. So I don't know. They're arresting Silver Samurai. Augur is like, "I will have my revenge." Blah blah blah. And then a bunch of lawyers show up and like, "We're gonna sue. We'll sue." Turns out that Jane Foster was actually the Hammer the whole time. And then Jane Foster, Thor turns back into Jane Foster. And then Jane gets pulled into another thing, probably to deal with the War of the Realms plotline. And next issue, get the true secret origin of Mjolnir. So yay, origins. I like the book. Thumbs up. It was actually
it alive?
A lot of fun. Everything's a lie. Everything is just recently made up.
No, I said alive.
Oh, is it alive? Yeah. Well, clearly it's alive. Clearly, apparently, the Hammer was sentient this whole time, and just now decided to mention it.
Didn't want to talk to the old Thor.
Doctor Who, where the TARDIS gets pulled into this creature that is evolved to this pan-dimensional creature that eats Time Lords, and the TARDIS gets a human form, and it's apparently the TARDIS not only is sentient, but it's been in love with the Doctor. It was the Doctor's wife was the name of the episode. Very good episode, but it's sort of one of these weird things that it is been alive this whole time. You just didn't know it because it didn't have a method of communication. But now apparently Mjolnir to Jane Foster just wants to talk. Could have talked to Thor for the last 800 years, but I guess Thor was maybe just not that interesting to talk to. Jane Foster, she's cool. Okay. But thumbs up on that book for me. I liked it. I did enjoy it. It was a good book.
Yeah, big thumbs up for me.
Okay. Want to give social media and get the heck out of here, Phil?
Heck yes. If you want to discuss any of the many books we reviewed tonight, email us, marvelroundup@gmail.com. Facebook, we're All New Marvel Roundup. Please give us a like. Twitter, we're @Marvel_Roundup. Please follow us there. And we're even on Instagram, Marvel Roundup. As for me, you can talk any Marvel or DC with me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. And on Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp. Charlie?
And, of course, I'm always at superconnectivity@gmail.com. That's superconnectivity, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on Twitter. So I live tweet all the shows that I feel like @Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality.
All right. Well, that was it. A lot of books this week. I think there's a lot of books next week also. Come back and join us. And what can I say? Just Bendis. Do better, please. Try. All right. Good night.
You are getting paid. This ain't slash fiction. You don't get paid for, Bendis. You can put in a little extra effort.
I'm gonna put Charlie back in his cage. Good night.
Good night.